Hidden away in the misty mountains of Indonesia lives one of the largest butterflies in the world, the Goliath Birdwing. Goliath has the second largest range of any birdwing. It is principally a New Guinea species, but is also found in a few outlying islands, such as here in Seram. Seram's a large tropical island, approaching the size of Wales. It's a tranquil, bucolic island, largely forgotten by the rest of the world. The steep mountains are clad in untouched rainforest, and the whole island is fringed with coral reefs.
Tomorrow I've arranged with one of the farmers to go up there and sleep in the forest. He's got a hut apparently somewhere, well, 2 hours walk or 3 hours walk from here, and he's going to let me stay in that hut for the night and then see what comes. We should be a spot for the Goliath birdwing, but also just to stay in the forest. There is nothing that makes me more happy when I can stay in close to the forest and hear the birds and just be alone. Well, that should be where Goliath is. It's a cool loving species. Let's see this time if we have success. Can I get close to one of these big birdwings in the wild? Yeah, so this is Kiki, the strong guy, who's going to take me up to his garden house, where I can stay and just go around on my own slowly. Jam berapa ada?
Jam 7 pagi, jam 8 pagi, sampai jam 10 kalau ada mendung, tetap Goliath datang.
Oh,
Gitu.
bagus sekali. Dan
Kalau dia ada, dia datang.
dia pakai pohon ini.
Iya.
Itu putih. And I'm staying up here right on the edge of the forest. So there's hornbills up there and eagles, cockatoos with orange crests, and this is my tent for the night. Just got a bit of food and a bit of bit of meat tomorrow, and then I'll be up at the crack of dawn trying to film the female, which apparently comes out at 6 o'clock in the morning, so you have to be up here. 1 o'clock in the morning here. It's pretty quiet, the rain has stopped. It's just the frogs and cicadas going now. No birds. This is an extraordinary sight to see. It's 7 in the morning and here is the biggest butterfly in Indonesia, already up and feeding. What a delight to see. What an absolute delight. This butterfly is just a giant. Silently going through in the early morning sun, stocking up for the day.
Birdwings are the lions and tigers of the butterfly world. They belong to the swallowtail family, a mostly tropical family that specialise in feeding on flowers as butterflies. All of them are large and all have males with brilliant metallic colours. The females, on the other hand, are drab browns and whites and markedly different from the males.
So here's a beautiful male. Just one of the brightest butterflies in the world. Typical swallowtail with all the motion on the forewings and hindwings almost acting like rudders.
The Musaenda bush is central to the life of the Goliath birdwing. It is conspicuous white bracts advertising from afar the presence of nectar. Up close, the orange flowers have 2-inch long flower tubes. Only large butterflies with long proboscis can reach the nectar right at the bottom of these flower tubes. It's a precision operation, getting its needle-like proboscis into such a narrow flower tube. The birdwings and other large swallowtails fly sufficiently far as to carry the pollen from one light gap to another, thereby pollinating the flowers. The Musaenda bush is not that common in the wild. It needs large gaps in the forest, like those formed in landslides, to germinate and thrive. Like many plants in the coffee family, its fruits are dispersed by birds and possibly bats. Each fruit contains hundreds of minute seeds. When the fruit is cut in half, these seeds make the shape of the letter G. The locals call this plant after this Bunga G, flower G.
So here's the female again. This is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. This is flying in this slow motion way, huge, visiting each one of these flowers, and the white of these flowers attracts them.
By folding their wings into a narrow V, both sexes can drop out of the sky in a carefully controlled dive. Despite their size, the females are surprisingly agile. Her early morning behaviour is to move from flower to flower, from bush to bush, never straying far from the Musaendas. The males, on the other hand, tear around the place, flying in wide arcs around the perimeter of the forest opening. When not visiting flowers, they are looking for females and chasing off rival males. In flight, the bright yellow abdomen of the male turns downwards at the tip. This can be seen even from afar when the light catches it.
Just seen another male Goliath, and every time you see that butterfly, it just lights up the whole forest. It's so bright. There's whole days of rain in Seram here. Goliath has to be able to withstand that and have very long periods where it just can't move. It's going to wait in the tree canopies and not waste its energy.
Wah, extraordinary. Sini.
So here's this female, she's come back here, she's restocking. We just had the male, they're kind of ignoring each other because they want to get as much nectar as they can before the sun comes up. These Goliath birdwings don't like the sun, and it's feeding 8 in the morning, it's still cold here. And it's a huge butterfly. She's full of eggs, about 20 eggs, the largest eggs in the butterfly world. At the moment, she's feeding up on the nectar of this plant, and later on she'll go out looking for places to lay her eggs. She's going to go disappear into the forest there and find that food plant, which is really hard to find there. And not a lot is known about the lives of this butterfly. They're just too hard to follow and they're too rare. So yeah, this giant body, and then the sort of transparent, mostly black wings, but also just transparent, which when she's up in the air, it's the sunshine through her. I'm going to try and get this down really close to her.
Flew really close to my head and I could hear the rustle of its wings, a bit like the hornbills above. I could hear the sound it makes.
This is another one of the biggest troides in the world.
Along with Goliath, there are 3 other species of birdwing in the forest. The Priam's birdwing and the 2 yellow birdwings. All 4 of these birdwings have their largest form right here on Seram. Indeed, the Seram form of Goliath, called Procus, is the largest race of Goliath known.
This is a site for Ornithoptera priamus, female. Egg laying.
This is the magnificent swallowtail, Gambricius, as Wallace referred to it. Seram really is a land of giant butterflies. The true swallowtails show much more bird damage than the birdwings do. Unlike the birdwings, they don't have the luxury of chemical protection and rely on outflying birds with their speed and agility. The birdwings themselves are left alone by birds as they have nasty tasting toxins in their bodies. The backdrop sounds of Goliath's forest home is a cacophony of bird calls and alarms. Dominating are the raucous cries of the Seram cockatoo, one of the largest cockatoos in the region. Coconut lorikeets give a splash of tropical colours. There's the Blide's hornbill with their whooshing wings and echoing calls. And my favourite, the soft sedative gossips and woos of the imperial Seram pigeons. The southern Moluccan sunbird is a competitor of Goliath. It robs the flowers of nectar by piercing a hole in the base of the flower tube.
This is the first time I've ever found a python before. He's changing skin and beautiful. Yes, you are. So, I don't know how close he'll let me go. It's okay. It's okay.
This is a rarely seen scrub python. I sat next to it for a few minutes while it remained entirely motionless before making my way back down the mountain. Bapa Aoi said he didn't know where the females went during the day. He never found the birthwork food plant that the caterpillars use. This set me a challenge to try and find where the females go in the daytime, although I realised this was a bit like finding a needle in the proverbial haystack.
Getting kind of stuck here trying to find her. It's very steep. There she is. There she is. So is there an Aristolochia nearby now? There's a good chance there is if she's not going to fly off far. This is very, very exciting to find this. I really had very, very little hope of finding her.
The females rest in the same place close to their caterpillar food plant, making brief flights every 20 minutes or so, only to return to the same tree.
Okay, so yes, found the food plant. Here it is. This is an Aristolochia, this typical cork bark. Some of these are dead. Some are going right up 20 meters, but here's the leaf. That's an Aristolochia with a notch there, and the bark smells. It's got something eating this, but yeah, very likely to be the female host plant or the egg-laying plant. But the thing we've discovered is the female spends her time in the forest, hours on end, just sitting close to the food plant. She was just 10-15 meters away from this plant.
This gives a hint why females look so different from the males. The two sexes spend their time in very different habitats. The females rest up beside the birthwork caterpillar plants during the day, waiting to lay their eggs. This birthwork vine is a shade lover and is found in the deep forest rather than in the gaps. The female's broken black lines and zigzag patterns, along with the translucent white windows on the wing, are perfect camouflage in the depths of the forest. The location of the caterpillar birthwork vine also explains why Goliath, as a species, is only found up in the mountains. This is because Goliath tracks the vine, which is itself a mountain species and is only found above 600 meters.
Apa ada 40 tahun kamu beli itu tanah, ya? No.
Itu kepunyaan kita di sini.
啊 bagus. Tapi kamu mulai
Saya
tanam.
mulai bekerja kebun,
Ya.
ya, tanam kakao duluan, tanam pohon cengkeh,
Ya.
pohon durian.
Ya.
Ah, itu
Ya. Dan itu bunga putih
bunga itu.
kapan? Kapan?
Kalau dulu waktu saya masih mau bekerja baru
Ya.
satu pohon.
Mhm.
Selama saya berkebun itu saya bersihkan terus. Akhirnya tanam, ambil anaknya tuh,
Aha.
tanam,
Ya.
akhirnya jadi banyak.
Saya faham. Oke, saya mengerti. So, ada satu dari alami dan kamu bisa lihat ada Goliath suka.
Setelah ada orang datang cari kupu,
Oh ya.
saya ajak, coba kita ke kebun saya, ada kupu yang besar.
Ya.
Ya, dia datang
Ah.
sama istri.
Ah.
Kita menginap di atas.
Menginap seperti saya.
Tapi belum ada rumah seperti itu,
Ah.
kita pakai tenda.
Plastik. Ya.
Plastik.
Dari mana
Wah.
datang itu?
Lah, itu orang dari sana, dari pulau-pulau Buton.
Buton. Indonesia.
Indonesia.
Buton. Oke. Ya.
Dia cari kupu untuk jual.
Ah.
Sampai di sini dia bilang, wah Bapak,
Ya.
ini kupu-kupu yang saya cari, kupu-kupu terbesar di dunia, namanya Goliath.
Ya.
Dia bilang, oh begitu ya? Dia bilang, iya.
Ya. Ya.
Ini Goliath, wah paling banyak sekali ini Goliath di sini.
Ya. Bagus.
Disitulah saya kenal Goliath di situ.
Ya. Ah.
Baru saya tahu itu.
Itu ada Slovakia lagi suka harus ada hutan bebas. Ya.
Nah, kalau di Bapak itu hutan bebas banyak.
Ya.
Banyak sekali hutan
Ya.
bebas.
Itu bagus.
Luas.
Itu bagus. Dan itu amam tidak potong, tidak ada orang potong di 10 tahun.
Tidak ada.
Bagus.
I hope one day that the family will be able to make this farm into a private butterfly reserve for Goliath, where visitors can pay to view and photograph this wonderful insect in the wild.